Yep. This this live show and stream is dedicated to the guy who played as George Jefferson. Sherman Hemsley. That's the name. Sherman Hemsley. This man was known as the American actor. Uh this man is an American actor. He was known for his roles as George Jefferson in the 1970s TV sitcom All in the Family. The Jeffersons. And the Jeffersons. And he played Deacon Ernest Fry on the 1980s TV show Amen. And he played as the BP Richfield character. BP Richfield character on on a show called Dinosaurs. That was on ABC. He played as Judge Carl Robertson on the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air TV series. For his work on the Jeffersons, Hemsley was nominated for a GGA, the Golden Globe Award, and an Emmy Award. He also won an NAACP Image Award for the best performance by an actor in a comedy series or a special. That means the Jeffersons. That means the Jeffersons. We're going to his early life, education, and service. He was born and raised in South Philadelphia by his mother, who worked in a lamp factory. He did not meet his father until he was in his teens. Hemsley graduated from Barrett Middle School. For high school, Hemsley attended Central High School for ninth grade at Bach Technical High School for the 10th. Hemsley dropped out of school after the 10th grade. He joined the U.S. Air Force, where he served for 4 years. On leaving the Air Force, Hemsley returned to Philly, where he worked as a USPS worker. He was a mailman. He worked as a mailman in the United States Postal Service, USPS, United States Postal Service. During the day, while attending the Academy of Dramatic Arts at night, then he moved to New York, continuing to work for the post office during the day while working as an actor at night. He starred as Gitlow in the early 1970s musical, a Broadway musical called Pearly. Well, this was shown before he did a show. It was shown before that. It's a photo of Hemsley at a Broadway musical called Pearly in 1972. He performed with local groups in Philly before moving to the NY to study with Lloyd Richards, who was a Canadian theater film director. A Canadian, what was that? Oh, I forgot. Lloyd George Richards, who was a Canadian American theater director. You know, and the Negro Ensemble Company, the NEC. Yeah, that's what they call it, the Negro Ensemble Company. Shortly after he joined Vinette Carroll's Urban Arts Company, appearing in these productions, but never jammed today. The Lottery. Old Judge Mose is Dead Moon on the Rainbow, Shaw, Step Lively Boys, Croesus, and The Witch. Hemsley made his Broadway debut in Pearly and toured with the show. He toured with the show for a year in the summer of 1972. That's in June 8th. That was June 8th of that year. Hemsley joined the Carol musical Don't Bother Me, I Can't Cope. That's a review. That's ensemble in Toronto, Ontario, Canada. It was in Canada. Um, Followed a month later in the American Conservatory Theater production, the ACT, that had to be a non-profit theater company in the West Coast. Yeah, a production at the Geary Theater. In this production, Hemsley Hemsley performed the solos "Looking Over from Your Side" in Act One and "Sermon" in Act Two. There's a picture while Hemsley was on Broadway with Pearlie. Norman Lear called him in 1971. In 1971, to play the recurring role of George Jefferson. George Jefferson in his new sitcom All in the Family, where he guest appeared a couple times. Hemsley was reluctant. Hemsley was reluctant to leave his theater role, at which Lear told him he would hold the role open for him. Another actor named Mel Stewart. Uh, oh, this guy played the. Yeah, that guy played the. Probably played one of the characters. I don't even know who Mel Stewart is. Mel Stewart played his brother. Yeah, Mel Stewart played his brother for like 2 episodes. During this time, Hemsley joined the cast. 2 years later, the characters of Hemsley and co-star Isabel Sanford were occasional supporting roles in All in the Family, then were given their own spin-off from the All in the Family TV show, The Jeffersons. In 1975, The Jeffersons proved to be one of Lear's most successful series, enjoying a run of 11 seasons through 1985. Let me tell you this shit. Let me tell you about this shit now. It's called the motherfucker in here. They ain't got no heat, nothing. They ain't got shit. They ain't got no heat, nothing in here. Not a fucking speck of goddamn heat. Fuck. No one the assholes. No one the assholes that sit around and start fucking us. Well, the Jeffersons was Norman Lear. That was Norman Lear's. That's all Norman Lear's idea. All this shit is all Norman Lear. It's all his shit. It's all Norman Lear's idea. So I find this out to be. I find this out to be okay, incredible. So it all works. It works for everybody. It ain't just for anybody. It works for other people. You see that? What do you see the 1980s, 1990s, and 2000s? Hemsley continued to work steadily after the show's cancellation, largely typecast in George Jefferson like roles. He teamed with the sitcom's original cast members when the Jeffersons moved to Broadway for a brief run. Hemsley joined the cast of NBC's Amen. Yeah, that's been there. In 1986, as Deacon Ernest Fry, a church deacon, the sitcom enjoyed a run of 5 seasons, 5 of them. It ended. Let's see what it ended. Oh yeah, ending in May 11th, 1991. Well, I was 9 years old after this shit, after this whole Ronnie King beings and after the Ronnie King beating in L.A. Day back in March of 1991, I was 8 years old. That shit happened with Ronnie King getting his ass whooped in L.A. Got his ass whooped and then somebody filmed it. Um, Hemsley then was a voice actor in the ABC live action puppet series Dinosaurs, where he played, oh God, he played as Bradley, what's it? Bradley P. Richfield. Oh, that's what he played? Oh, Bradley P. Richfield, the boss of the main character Earl. The series ran 4 seasons, ending in 1994. In 1995, Helmsley made four appearances in the sitcom Sister Sister as T.N. Tamara Mowry's grandfather in 1996. Well, that man used to be. I mean, Sherman used to be in movies. He had the lead role in a TV comedy series. The TV comedy series it lasted for like 1 season. Good Behavior. Yep, that sitcom that would have lasted for that 1 season. A total of 22 episodes. It used to be on UPN on August 26, 1996. Let me explain it to y'all. I was in junior high. I was in junior high then. I was in junior high then. Okay? I was like 14 years old. I was 14 years old at the time. I was in middle school. I was in junior high school when that show came out, which lasted for 1 season and 22 episodes until it lasted through May 19th, 1997. Hemsley Hemsley then cut back on his acting career altogether. Although Isabel Sanford, Isabel Sanford, yeah, everyone knows Isabel Sanford. Uh, although Isabel Sanford and he occasionally appeared together in the mid to late 1990s, in the early 2000s, reprising their popular roles in guest appearances on such television series as The Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. They came along with Mola Gibbs. Mola Gibbs came along with them. Mola Gibbs ends up coming along with them. Mola Gibbs. Yeah, the Kiss My Grits lady. The Kiss My Grits lady. Mola Gibbs. She must have learned all this from. She must have took that class with John Amos. Ain't that a blip? Ain't that a blip? Is what she might be taking some countrified classes with John Amos from Good Times. Ain't that a blip? Something she will say. Yep, in commercials for the Gap. That's a company. That's a clothing company. You know what I mean? That's been around since the 60s in San Francisco, California. Old Navy, that clothing company's been around in San Francisco as well. And Denny's. That it was an American table service diner. That was American table service diner style restaurant chain. It operates over 1,700 restaurants in many countries, and dry cleaning dry cleaning conventions. He also starred in with Sanford in a touring company for the Real Life Jefferson's stage show in the 1990s. Sanford and he made a cameo appearance in the film Sprung. It was a 1997 comedy film written by Rusty Cundy. Remember the guy who was in this Fear of the Black Hat movie? Remember Fear of a Black Hat, the movie? That's like a bit of a goddamn comedy film. That was out in the 1990s. The early 90s, that happened to be a comedy film. I did not even know that shit. They had that NWH parody looking rap group. You remember that shit? Uh, it became a 1997 comedy film written by Rusty Cundy, who featured on the Fear of a Black Hat movie, uh, and Darren Scott, directed by Cundy, and starring Tisha Campbell. Tisha Campbell, Tisha Campbell. I remember her from School Days in Martin. I remember her before she married Dwayne Martin, who was an actor of the movie called Above the Rim with Leon, Marlon Wayans, uh, Wood Harris, Byron Mins, uh, Taya Pinkins, and the late Tupac Amaru Shakur. Tupac. Okay. Well, yeah. Who was already there? Paul Jai Parker. Uh, she was in this. She was in this movie before the Proud Family. She was on the Wayans Brothers and before this shit. Before this shit. Uh, Joe Torre. He was on Poetic Justice, bro. He was on Poetic Justice playing as Chicago. The guy with the goddamn flat top fade or whatever. Guy with a flat top fade. So it was like a early 90s type hairstyle. You know, brush that fade. The brush. Mm. That movie was like a comedy film that Rusty Cundiff had written. Okay. Along with Darren Scott, they written that comedy film together. Okay. Let me see here. Hemsley and Isabel. Oh, I forgot. Hemsley and Sanford. Let me tell you about this shit. Hemsley and Sanford continued to work together on occasion until Sanford's health declined prior to her death in 2004. In 2001, Hemsley appeared appeared as a contestant on the Celebrity Classic TV edition of ABC's prime hit primetime quiz show, Who Wants to Be a Millionaire? Who wants to be a millionaire? That happened to be a quiz show, and he won $125,000 for his own charity. Hemsley also made a voice appearance as himself in the Seth MacFarlane animated comedy Family Guy in 2005. He appeared in the film American Pie Presents the Book of Love, a 2009 film. A 2009 film. In 2011, he reprised his own role as the character, the George Jefferson character, for the last time, alongside Mola Gibbs, who plays the Florence Johnston character. On Tyler Perry's The House of Pain. Tyler Perry's House of Pain. Hemsley was inducted into the TAHF, the Television Academy Hall of Fame, in 2012. In '89, Hemsley, who had been a jazz keyboardist, released a single, Ain't That a Kick in the Head, that happened to be something, I don't know, some Frank Sinatra, what it came up with. It's probably one of the songs that Frank Sinatra came out with. Ain't that a Kick in the Head. This was followed in 1992 by a dance, an album of rhythm and blues music. He appeared on Soul Train, who had to be an American musical variety TV show that was aired from the early '70s all the way till mid 2000s. Around the time of the record's release, and also performed the song Eyes in the Dark. Eyes in the Dark. Hemsley was an enthusiastic fan of the 1970s progressive rock bands, including Yes and Gentle Giant, Gong, and Nectar. There's his personal life going on. Like the characters that he played, Hemsley was a shy and intensely private man described by some as reclusive. He avoided the Hollywood limelight, and little of his personal life was public knowledge beyond the facts until he never married, and he had no children, no kids at all. In 2003, however, Hemsley granted granted a rare video interview to the archive of American television. Playing George Jefferson, playing George Jefferson was hard for me, but he was the character. I had to do it. His death. This is where the tragedy happened. Why the ending in passing. Before I had the ending in passing. On July 24th, 2012, Hemsley died in his home in El Paso, Texas, at the age of 74. The cause of death was given as superior vena cava syndrome, a complication associated with the lung and bronchial carcinomas. He had a malignant mass on one of his lungs, which for which chemotherapy and radiation have been recommended, according to the El Paso County, Texas medical examiner's report. On August 2012, an El Paso news anchor interviewed Flora Isela Inchinton, the sole beneficiary of Hemsley's will, who said that the two were friends and had been business partners for more than 2 decades. During this time, she lived with Hemsley and his friend Kenny Johnston in Chinton told the Associated Press that Hemsley never mentioned any relatives. Some people come out of the woodwork. They think Sherman, they think money. And Chinton told AP, but the fact is that I did not know Sherman when he was in the limelight. I met them when Hemsley and Johnston came running from LA with not one penny when there was nothing but struggle. A Philly man named Richard Thornton claimed to be Hemsley's brother and the heir to the estate, true heir to the estate, to his estate. After contesting the will, Thornton halted progress on funeral arrangements as a result. And as a result, Hemsley's body remained at the San Jose Funeral Home in El Paso and unburied for months. On November 9th, 2012, the legal battle over Hemsley's body ended when Judge Patricia Chu ruled in favor of Enchinton. Enchinton. A military funeral was planned for Hemsley. He was interred at the Fort Bliss National Cemetery in his adopted hometown of El Paso. This all this stuff right here. This all this shit right here. Love at First Bite in 1979, Stewardess School, 1986, Ghost Fever 1986, Club Fed in 1990, Mr. Nanny in 1993. He was working with Hulk Hogan. Home of Angels, Misery Brothers, A Christmas Journey Home. He played the character Earl on Sprung. Uh, he and the late Isabel Sanford met Tisha Campbell and Rusty Cundiff on the movie. Casper, A Spirited Beginning, Senseless, Mafia, Screwed. Oh, he played the Chip Oswald character. He played the Chip Oswald character when he met Dave Chappelle and Norm Macdonald. Lane Stritch and Daniel Benzali. You see this man's name in Sherman's name. Let's see Sherman's name. Yeah, Dave Chappelle's name is on it. Daniel Benzali is in it. Lane Stritch name is in it. Yep. Yeah, boys. Screwed. Everyone gets it in the end. Well, Sarah Silverman was already in the movie. Sarah Silverman. Hanging in Hido. Well, Mafia, he had the uncredited, he played the George Jefferson character in the Mafia movie. I don't know why he played the character. It's an uncredited character. It was an old American crime comedy film. So, for the love of a dog. In '08, same as Hanging in Hido. American Pie presents The Book of Love. Well, he started working with the likes of the legendary Eugene Levy. That's Eugene Levy. Eugene Levy have already known who Sherman Hemsley is. Sherman Hemsley played as Pastor Reggie Johnston. That's the final film role that he played. But the television shit, he got featured on. He was featured on the Jeffersons. Well, before the Jeffersons, he was on the All in the Family show as the George Jefferson character. Same thing on the Jeffersons. The Love Boat, he played as the Henry Bullard character. Maurice Marshall character, I don't know. Donnie Marie, he was a guest. Incredible Hulk. He played as Robert Guy. He played by himself. He plays by himself in the Pink Lady, so that was an Incredible Hulk. the Robert character. He plays by himself in the Pink Lady Pearly. That was a TV movie. That was a TV movie based off of off an old play, based off of an old Broadway musical play in the 70s, but it became a TV movie. He played a Get Low Judson character. Fantasy Island, he plays the Charlie Atkins character in Fantasy Island. He played the Uncle George Jefferson character on the ER show. The ER show. Twilight Zone, he played the Sam character in the Twilight Zone in 1985. Alice in Wonderland in the same year. Candid Cameras, Dick Sherman. And Amen as Deacon Ernest Fry. And 227 as Thurman Fox. He plays the character Thurman Fox. Thurmond Fox. Camp Cucamonga is in 1990 is Herbert Himmel. 1991 to 1994, Dinosaurs as Bradley P. Richfield. I repeat, B.P. Richfield. Bradley B.P. Richfield played the voice of a boss of Earl. In 1992 to 1996, he guest starred as George Cole Robertson and the George Jefferson character. In 1993, he played as Mr. Ray Toussaint. Throughout 93, he guest appeared as George Jefferson in a sketch, the LaShawn Dry Cleaners sketch. He played as Judge J.R. Powell in Burke's Law, New Adventures of Superman, Lois and Clark as Winslow Scott. Winslow Scott, like Schott, aka Toyman. In 1995, the Magic School Bus. He guest starred in this revved up episode as Mr. Junket. He played this Mr. Junket character. Wayans Brothers. Oh God, he played Mr. Stone. I remember this shit. He played Mr. Stone on the Wayans Brothers. Those been out from January of '95 all the way to like May of 1999. That was off the air. Sister is Grandpa Campbell. He plays Grandpa Campbell. Sherman have already met Sherman Hemsley have already met Tim Reed once. He met Tim Reed once. These guys are like major legends. They're like OGs in the TV world. They're like television stars. They're like television legends. They're OGs. Tim Reed came from the WKRP in Cincinnati TV show. Sherman Hemsley came from the TV world of guest appearing on All in the Family and being starred on a spinoff of an old TV show that had to be the Jeffersons. Nobody else knows the story. But these guys are like icons. 1995 guest spot, that's what it says. Grandpa Campbell. 1996, 1997, he plays the Willie Good character. That show lasted from 1996 to 1997. After like 22 episodes, he played the Mr. Washington character. On the Martin show. Mr. Washington was the guy who works at the DMV. He played the character. Look at the Martin show. From 92 to 97, that show was off the air. And all that. He guest starred in two episodes guest starred as a doctor. 1998, The Secret Diary of Desmond Pfeiffer. Union Spy. He guest starred in that Up and Away He played James. Hugh Gleason in 1999 2000. He played James Williams. Family Matters. He played his co-superior, Captain Marion Savage. Yep, Mr. Gurman, the food critic, and all that. That was a good burger skit before the movie. Uh, he was a guest panelist on Figure It Out, Up and Away. You know, as Edward Marshall Steel Condor. He was on Mr. Ed. It was a 2004 TV movie. TV movie based off of an old Mr. Ed show that was from the 60s. It see it was a reincarnation of a 1960s Mr. Ed television show. It was a black and white show, black and white TV sitcom that's been out. Family Guy. He in a voice cameo, in 2005 in The Father, the Son, and the Holy Fonts. He plays as himself, bro. This real life in 2006. He was a cast member on there. Clunkers, he played a boss. In 2011 he played a boss. Tyler Perry's House of Pain. He went on with the George Jefferson character. He went on with the George Jefferson character like he did back in the 70s. One Love in 2014 he played as Grandpa Roy. But this is after Hemsley died. Yeah, it's that one. He had the dance thing though. So what? Well, my my Lisa Marie Presley video could have topped this shit. So we got all the moments here. Hold on. See, it's classic shit here. There's some classic shit here. See, classic shit. It's OG shit. Now we're looking at his grave. Yep, Alexander is Sherman Hemsley's middle name. Alexander. I don't know why I didn't even put his middle name in it, because I didn't want to do that. Because I don't want to ruin my own live stream chat with his middle name in it. I just want to put Sherman and Hemsley. This is his grave. That's what I'll only show you. That's what I showed for you. That's all I've shown for you. All right. This is all I have shown for you. That's what I had. That's all I had got for you. That's all I had got for you people on YouTube. I got my grandfather's birthday coming up. I had to do a live show based on him on the 5th of this month. We're in February. We're in February now. Because I don't know where it ends, where it begins, where it ends here. That's what I'm going to do. I'm about to be finished with this. I got my grandfather's birthday coming up on the 5th. I got a live show based on him. I got to do a live show based on him on the 5th. I might go to his Facebook page. Got to go to his Facebook page probably on the 5th. Probably on a Sunday. I gotta do it on a Sunday. Yeah, they've been working on this goddamn. They work on this goddamn street improvement construction since the 17th, prior to the death of Jamin Pugh II. aka Jay Briscoe. They've been working on this shit. They've been working on this shit since the goddamn 17th of January. They've been working on this shit since January 17th. They've been working on this shit since January 17th. They still work on street improvements. They're still working on it anyway, but they keep redoing the all that work that they messed up and did. I'm about to end the stream. Yeah, see you on Sunday. About to go on Sunday. We'll see y'all on Sunday. You know what I mean? On Sunday morning. See y'all there. I'm about to might go check and see what's going on outside. Peace.